Hey y'all, if y'all would like to know how I achieved this cute bob, stay tuned. Okay, so before we get into this tutorial, this hair did come from YGWigs. They did send me 2 bundles of the deep wave in 18 inches. I did want to say that this was really high quality, good hair. For this specific look, we are going to only use 1 bundle though. So prior to me starting my client's hair, I do like to prep my bulk hair. And you guys can use a towel or a little tub like I'm using, but I just use a little bit of gel on the tip and I just separate it as if I'm separating hair. And this just makes it easier for me to pull and braid and just keep adding the hair in. And it also makes the time go by just a little bit faster. So I do highly recommend that you do this if you are going to be doing this on yourself or even perhaps a client. So I did want to show y'all how I did do a few braids. This is not the main focus. I really just wanted to focus on the curling of the hair and the cutting and cutting it to show you guys how to achieve a nice bob look. So for this part, I'm just going to have you guys look and learn. If you don't know how to do a knotless braid and feed in the bulk hair, then I will have you look at a different video, and I can link a video in for a good nice tutorial. But for this part, I'm just going to have you guys watch me do this one braid. Also, I did want to state that I did only use 2 pieces of that bulk hair in each braid because this is a bob. I didn't want to make it too big and full. I just wanted it to be a nice size. So 2 to 3 pieces in each braid would be fine. Right here is when I am showing you how to seal the ends by tying a knot. I just wrap a little piece of hair around about 3 or 4 times, and then I tie it in a knot, and I do this 2 times. Right here, I'm taking my curling rods and I'm just taking about 4 to 5 pieces of the hair and I'm just wrapping it around and curling it. This is just going to help the pieces at the end have a little bit more definition depending on how short or long that your clients want their bob. I also do this step too to help the braiding hair blend in more with the human hair. This just helps it be more of a seamless look. So I did have to dip her hair off camera because I accidentally spilled the water in the beginning. So I had to reheat the water up and dip her hair off camera. But nonetheless, after I dipped her hair, I waited a few minutes just to let it cool down. And then I started to unravel the rods. And right here, I zoomed in a little closer so you can see how I'm actually cutting. I'm using my shears and I'm going back and forth, but going up and down the braiding hair so it won't be blunt. I do not like blunt cuts. I try to do this so it can be not as thick. Also, notice how I am only cutting the braiding hair. I am not cutting the human hair yet because the human hair is a lot more finer than the braiding hair. So I wanted to cut the braiding hair and get the braiding hair out of the way first, and then go back with my shears and cut with the human hair. This also helped me see how close I was to the ending of the braid with the braiding hair. I didn't want to cut it too close, but I also wanted to cut it short enough to give it that bob effect, if that makes sense. So yes, just notice how I'm only cutting the braiding hair. If I could recommend cutting the braiding hair first and then going back and cutting the human hair instead of doing it all at one time. So after I cut the braiding hair, you can see now I'm going back and I'm cutting the human hair, and you see how easy it just is to cut the human hair after cutting the braiding hair. Also, I think it's important to start off long when cutting your bob. My client wanted a very short bob, so I started off longer than what she would have wanted so I can shape it up a little bit more at the end. So just remember that when you are cutting a bob, to go longer instead of going shorter initially, because you can always cut more. You cannot put more back on. So start long and then work your way back up. I will also recommend you to use mousse or leave-in conditioner to soften that hair down, to stretch it out more so you can cut more off, if that makes sense. But if it doesn't, just pay attention to this step as to what I'm doing now. You can see how the mousse made the hair just a little bit longer, and that also helps you give more of a precise cut when you're cutting. So I did play with her cut just a little bit more off the camera to get it to her desired length, because she did want her cut very short. But this is how it came out, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that it was useful and resourceful. See you next time.